Alright guys, welcome back to the Hardware Sense channel, and for today we have another review that it's long overdue. As you can see in front of you, we have the Huawei Honor 8, and you guys seen this phone on my channel being unboxed and overview a couple months back, but now I finally have come to the final conclusion to the review. What do I like about this phone and what is worth mentioning for those of you that might want to buy it now. Let's get going. Alright, first thing that goes for this phone, I have to say it's the build quality. Without even having any doubts, this phone is extremely well built. Glass back and front, metal sides. I think it's extremely well built, extremely beautiful, especially in this blue color. That's my favorite. What I really like is how well the seams are done between the metal and the glass. It's very nice and very well glued. Second thing I like about this phone is actually the camera. The camera being dual cameras. One is the color, the other one is monochrome. The software, the phone kind of combines the image from both sensors and is stitching it to one picture, so provides a little bit extra punch to the photos. They look great, as laser autofocus, which is again excellent. The only thing that it's missing is optical image stabilization, but when this phone was released and kind of announced, it was more towards the middle range at that time, so obviously they didn't want to spend the money to implement that technology. Another great thing while we're in the back, the fingerprint sensor, extremely fast, one of the fastest, maybe second to the OnePlus series. This is extremely fast. I absolutely love it. Works 100% of times and there's no problem whatsoever. Another thing to mention about the implementations that Huawei did is the infrared blaster. Obviously you can control everything that has infrared receiver. I like that a lot. And one of the best things is they still have the 3.5mm headphone jack, which is great. I use it all the time. It doesn't matter how great your wireless headphones are, they will never be as good as the wired ones, wired expensive ones that don't require battery, that would not care if you forget your charger and if you're on a long flight or a trip, one thing less to worry about is just plug in and go. Type-C connector, awesome. One thing that Huawei implemented with this series a year ago and kind of future-proof. One speaker, not the loudest, but at the same time it's pretty clear. I have no problems whatsoever. Huge plus for Huawei is having not only 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of internal storage for this particular phone, but at the same time the ability to insert a micro SD card, not micro SIM obviously. So on top of the 64 gigs of internal storage, you have the ability to expand that with even more larger secure digital cards. So what are the things that I don't like about that phone? Not too many, but the major one I'm gonna mention is the size of the screen. 5.2 inch, and on top of that the navigation buttons are onto the screen, which means you're losing probably 0.2 or 0.3 inches, so realistically you have 5-inch real estate to work with. So if you go to any of the apps in menu, obviously you see how this portion is blocking out, so you're really not going to be able to use it. The interface is quick and snappy. Obviously it's running the latest Android 7, and no problem whatsoever. I used it even overseas, traveled with this phone. Battery life at 3000 milliamp is significant. It's not anything major or mind-blowing, but at the same time it's good enough for all-day use, normal use that is. Obviously if you're watching a video all the time, or browsing the internet, it's not going to be enough for you all day long. But normal use, it's fine. One thing I really like is Huawei has an option, kind of, I forget what they call it, but combines the network, you know, the 4G and the Wi-Fi to speed up your connection. If one of them drops, the other one picks up right away. So really there's no gap between, you know, flipping between one or the other one. You know, standard UI, you can bring the app drawer or remove it. Obviously I enabled it, but at the same time I kept the overall user interface. I didn't put any other launcher because it's good enough for me, I feel. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But like I said, 5.2 inch in 2017 is not enough. I got spoiled with big phones. Obviously, you know, my Xiaomi Note 2 is 5.7, the Xiaomi Mi Mix is 6.4. I got really spoiled with bigger screens, and 5.2 unfortunately is not enough. I'm sure that there's plenty of customers, plenty of people out there that prefer a slightly smaller phone, people with smaller hands, ladies, and you know, whatnot. But for me, I think it's a bit on the smaller side. That being said, it's very pocketable, very compact, so it's really not gonna show. If you're wearing one of those tight jeans, it's not gonna be like a giant block of something in your pocket like some of the other phones. But yeah, that's at least one thing that goes for it. What else I can mention about the phone? Really, at the moment, especially at the price of $280, I think Newegg currently has it at $280. You know, I bought this one for $320, so another $40 drop in the last couple of months. I think it's a good buy, especially now with $280. It's a great buy. If you know, if you want to buy a phone for your child, your significant other, somebody that doesn't care about huge screens, or you know, latest specs, go ahead and buy this phone. I highly recommend it. I think the 4 gigs of RAM is significant enough. I think the 64 gigs of internal storage plus expandable memory is great. I think the Kirin 950 is still very comparable processor and well designed, so it will be relevant at least for another year in my opinion. You know, as you can see, I put the original Huawei TPU cover. Let's see if the camera will focus on that. Even it's you know, has a little logo right here. These are like $5, you know, over Amazon or Newegg, and you know, it provides a good protection because you know, if you drop that phone, it's not that big of a deal. But again, I like to keep my phones pristine without scratches or anything like that. And this one, at least on the front, I haven't had any scratches at all, despite the fact that I've used it for a while. And yeah, what can I say? It's a good phone. Is it perfect? Obviously not. Will I buy it for myself? No, but I recommend it for anybody that is good with the smaller screens and it's not very high-end specs demanding. Again, first phone for a child will be great. They're gonna have a tons of fun with that. Have some good pictures done. Keep in mind that there's no 4K movies, there's no optical image stabilization, there is no 1080p at 60 frames per second. So if that's something you're aiming at, this phone is not for you. Also works with all the GSM providers in the States, T-Mobile, AT&T, and all of their smaller contract providers. And obviously all over the world, and I've used it in Europe, no problem whatsoever. LTE 4G is working, voice over LTE is working as well, so no problem at all. That's pretty much it, guys. Hit the thumbs up if you like the video. Stay tuned to the channel. I have a lot more exciting things coming very soon. Some of you will be surprised. Subscribe if you're new, and until next time, guys, you have a wonderful day.